as Barcelona.
Let's cross back for the second half of this. Barcelona 4 up at the halfway stage in this first leg of their semi-final with Almeria. Commentary team again, David Phillips and John Driscoll.
Welcome back to the Camp Nou. Barcelona leading by 4 goals to 0 at half-time. The bad news for Almeria is that we've seen Barcelona establish big leads in games before. They don't particularly let up. And as a rule, they don't make too many changes early in the second half either. Obviously, Messi see the game through in this kind of situation. Pinto's in goal, Mascherano in for Busquets. Other than that, it's as strong as they've got available. Alves and Puyol injured. Maxwell not fouled on the edge of the penalty area. Almeria in the blue shirts. Esteban, their goalkeeper, in for Diego Alves because it's a cup game. He's had a couple of horror moments. The standing goalkeeper, Luna making his debut at left-back. Goitom preferred up front to the free-scoring Ulloa. Barcelona's goal tally now in 2.5 seasons under Pep Guardiola has moved to 397. Might just get to 400 the way this game has been going. They've passed the 100 mark for the season. Adriano looking for another one, off target this time.
Well, you can see straight away in the second half the intentions from Barcelona, and as you're right to say, John, they've got a lead at 4-0. They won't give up at all. They'll be looking for the 5th and then the 6th. They'll just keep going and going and going, and as you're right to say, they won't make any changes until about 20 minutes into the second half. But a fabulous performance. You also have to say that a couple errors from Esteban certainly aided the progression. Lionel Messi again dominates with a couple of goals. It's just fabulous strike rate, 35 in all competitions.
3 hat-tricks so far this season, 2 so far tonight. Here's Corona. Never scored at the Camp Nou, Almeria. Never got so much as a point. Played 5, lost 5. As a club, they've never beaten Barcelona. That won't change tonight. I suppose their big opportunity is to really get hammered tonight, and then they might win the return leg.
It's certainly going to be very hard for Jose Luis Oltra's side this evening. It doesn't matter what side comes to the Camp Nou, it's always going to be very difficult.
Oh, good ball. He's found Messi. Messi yet again has found space. Misplaced pass though. Mistake by Mascherano, given away again by Michel Macedo, the Brazilian defender for Almeria. Messi is away from one challenge, and he's found Iniesta. Among the goals, Andres Iniesta has got 7 for the season. He's not generally been a free-scoring player in his career. About 1 in 10, even worse than that, I think, is his strike rate.
7 goals so far for Iniesta is his personal best. Been an ever-present starter in La Liga this year. Obviously one of the guys in Barcelona affected with the Ballon d'Or with himself, Xavi, and with Messi.
No changes also from Almeria. Possibilities on the bench. Well, they've got 2 strikers on the bench, Galuce and Ulloa. Well, they do have options. That's Goitom winning the ball there for Corona. A great touch by Corona. Big stage for him. A lot of these players, Almeria players, out of contract, such as Corona in the summer. Don't know which division they'll be in, of course, yet. They're 18th in La Liga. In their first home game of the season at the weekend. And in a way, for a bigger game, they've got Real Sociedad coming up. Won all 6 of their Copa del Rey games so far, all of them against top-flight teams, Sociedad, Mallorca and Depor. And the telling one is that they knocked Mallorca out of the Cup and then played them the next game in the league, and they lost by 4 goals to 1. I think they would trade some of these cup games for points in the league, stay in the top division.
Well, they certainly would do, and you have to say, down at the bottom at this present time in La Liga, very exciting. There's a lot of sides. Talk about 8 or 9 of them who potentially can still get relegated. But they've been disappointing this evening so far, Almeria, and we've seen them quite a few times, John, during the course. You have to say, they have some decent players, but so have both sides.
Final of the Copa del Rey is on April the 20th. It's looking good for Barcelona, but the winners of this two-legged tie, remember, will take on the winners of the other semi-final. Real Madrid beat Sevilla by a goal to 0 earlier. Second legs are played next week, and then we have a big gap once the Champions League returns. They try and cram the business of the tournament into January and early February.
Certainly do cram it in as well, and they're always two-legged affairs. So there's an awful amount of Copa del Rey games during that course. But for the bigger boys, the Barças and the Real Madrid, that's good, because obviously with the Champions League coming up.
Pedro to Adriano. Barely seen him defending tonight at all. David Villa and Messi. Waits for Maxwell, and Maxwell! Holmes tried to sneak it in at the near post, at the outside of the post. He's saying there was a fingertip on that from Esteban.
Well, I'm not quite certain whether Esteban did get a fingertip to it or not, but you can see once again, great vision by Lionel Messi. You see that Esteban at one stage was looking to go across his goal, just changed at the very last moment, hits the outside of the post. But that time Piatti wasn't getting close enough to Maxwell. Does a lot of good work going forward, Piatti. He also does a lot of good work trying to help out his fullback as well.
Vargas. Barmy, here is Piatti. It's on to his left. It's another go at it from Iniesta. Deflect off Iniesta again. Pinto, I think he kept it in, he didn't, it's a corner.
Well, it'll be interesting to see whether or not Almeria just put that ball into the area, because as we've been highlighting during the course of the game, there's only going to be 3 6-footers in the Barcelona setup. And we know that as height goes, Almeria are a bigger side.
It's up to Corona to put a good ball into that Barcelona penalty area. Corona in towards Goitom. It's the header from Mascherano. By Vargas and Pinto. Big strong goalkeeper though.
I think it's just a clumsy challenge from Vargas as he's looking at the ball, just trips over his own legs and collides into the back of Pinto. But who would be a reserve goalkeeper at Barcelona? You have to say that with Real Madrid as well, knowing that you're going to get very limited time on the pitch unless you're going to play for the Copa del Rey. I think he's only made, is it something like 5 appearances in the near 3 years that he's been here?
He's got, well, this is his 9th appearance of the season, 7th in the Copa del Rey, and to be fair to him and to Guardiola, played all the way through to the final. That's the time when they got there in 2009, and won it, of course. It's a chance to pick up. He's got a better chance of picking up a medal than most goalkeepers, I suppose, if you look at it that way.
Yeah, there's always that element of doubt that if you get to a final that the manager might go with his first-team goalkeeper, but as you're right to say, Guardiola is certainly a man of his word.
Cerdo ran into trouble. He was dispossessed by Iniesta. haven't put much pressure on Barcelona, have they, Almeria?
It's always very difficult knowing whether to drop deep or play a high line up against Barcelona, because if you know at times if you play too high a line up, they'll just go and pick you off very easily, especially with the movement with Pedro, Messi and Villa. Always very difficult knowing what to do. Let's talk about work rate, John. Look at that. Xavi, who's one of the holding midfielders, running all of 40-50 yards to go and close down Carlos Garcia. And that's what they're very good at doing. As soon as they lose possession, they work in their 2 and 3s and go and get it back as quickly as possible.
Had to win that header, Carlos Garcia. Otherwise, Messi might well have been away. Here's Mbami. Just can't get away, create anything in this game, can they? It's Iniesta. Shrugs off the challenge of Corona. Always buy himself a little bit of time. And there's Iniesta. Xavi. Use the space in front of him. The ball to Adriano. Adriano shooting. He's been way off the mark tonight.
Well, I'm sure if well, we know that Dani Alves is in the crowd watching. If I'm perfectly honest, I don't think Dani Alves' record from right back is very similar to Adriano's. He's had 2 opportunities and not even made the goalkeeper work.
Jeffrey among the injured players tonight for Barcelona.